For the Saints coming out. Corey, we'll start with you. What was it over the last 3 days?
It was Cam Jordan's contract extension. He just got a 3-year, $52 million deal, and he did not take as much money as he could have.
Yeah.
And that's really going to help the Saints in the long run. Michael Thomas is the next contract up, and then you got Kamara, and then you got Lattimore, and you got a lot of guys they need to sign, and that's a big storyline for me.
Corey, first, let me hear what you thought about today.
Well, it's just a competitive practice, offensively and defensively. Drew Brees had a really nice pass to take in right there in a 2-minute drill. Defensively, they had 2 interceptions, one by Patrick Robinson on Teddy Bridgewater. He just came back from a major injury. And then Drew Brees threw another interception to Marshawn Lattimore. He's had a really impressive day so far. Jared Cook's continued to dominating. And then the rookies, all 3 of the rookies that we've been talking about, you know, McCoy, Johnson, and Alize Mack have been performing well. Jared Cook is looking good.
Yeah,
he is a big specimen. I mean, it's something that they haven't had since Jimmy Graham got traded in 2015. And also the defense flew around the football. You talked about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. The coaches were always in his ear, but he was around the football a lot. Marshawn Lattimore played well. Demario Davis, Anzalone. So it was competitive, but the defense looks good, and Jared Cook looks like a monster. Well, just like yesterday, there was a lot of competition, defensively and offensively. Marshawn Lattimore just wrapped up a second grade practice. Jared Cook continues to dominate. And then a funny story today, Alvin Kamara and Teddy Bridgewater swapped jerseys. Alvin wore the red jersey. It looked weird seeing a red number 5 in the backfield.
Right.
But great practice here on Compete Street, and I'm looking forward to training camp. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Porter Street Podcast, sponsored by Desi Vegas Steakhouse on the world-famous St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. I'm Corey Rholdon.
And I'm Thomas Cawthorne.
Saints get a big NFC South win on Sunday by the score of 31-24. Teddy Bridgewater threw 4 touchdowns. Thomas, what were your big takeaways from the game? My big takeaways also were the defensive line, where Marcus Davenport had 2 sacks. You see him each and every week just taking a step, getting better. That bully rush on the Bucs offensive left tackle, absolutely nasty. Then Marshawn Lattimore. Last week I said he would hold Mike Evans under 50 yards. I was wrong. He held him to 0 yards. Cal Hurd, who I do not agree with a lot, he said that Marshawn Lattimore was the best corner in the game. When he plays up to par when he's focused, he is the best cornerback in the game. And then Teddy Bridgewater coming out there showing the haters. I absolutely loved the crowd after he had 4 touchdowns. They were chanting, Teddy, Teddy, Teddy. We got the 2 gloves here on the show for Teddy. What a performance for Teddy to come out there. His best game as a Saint.
314 yards.
It was Alvin Kamara for me, just listening to him. And he was talking about how he wants to be the smartest player on the football field and gets that from Drew Brees.
Just trying to be thinking it all, like, on all angles. And I think that's what Drew does a great job of. And that's why he's been so successful, because it's like he has an answer for everything. It's like the kid you hate in class because he always know the answer. It's like, that's Drew, but you know, love him. That's my quarterback.
I think it will be Ted Ginn. He's experienced. He can spread the field. Last year, after his injury, he came up in the playoffs, and he had a really good game versus the Rams. You saw he made that huge catch with 2 minutes to go to set the Saints in position to get that field goal. You know, we know it happened there. But I think he is the number 2 guy. I'm not sold on Ted. I'm not sold on Traquan Smith. I believe he's too inconsistent. He struggles against the press and in man coverage. In terms of battles, I think the nickel position I talked to yesterday, this team is so deep. That's one of the biggest takeaways I've seen during camp. Yeah. They have a lot of players at a lot of different positions that can be starting on other teams. And you see Patrick Robinson, a guy who helped the Eagles win the Super Bowl, he might not be starting next year. He might be the 1 or 2 nickel position, because you got P.J. Williams and then you got Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then in terms of rookies, we talked about McCoy, we talked about Johnson. Alize Mack, I've been saying over and over again, from Notre Dame, the tight end has been impressive.
You talked about Demario Davis. Corey, he's a really interesting story, certainly with his Mississippi roots, but what he's meant to the Saints.
Well, he's been their best free agent from last year on and off the field. He does a lot in the community, especially in Jackson. It's only 2.5 hours away. It's a big reason why he came here, but he's been like the leader of that linebacking core. He solidified the Mike linebacker position, and then you have Alex Anzalone come in, and that's been a really good group since he's been here. So my 3 keys is create turnovers. Make Kyler Murray frustrated. I said last week you need to make Trubisky frustrated. I said that the Saints would have to have 3 turnovers on him. He didn't have 3 turnovers, but the Bears had 3 turnovers, so to speak. So, but also this week, Kyler Murray needs to get frustrated. You need to pick the ball off a couple times and then maybe not sack him, right? But make him get rid of the football. Make him not run the football. Secondly, make Drew Brees comfortable, as you said. Get short, easy passes. Get him in rhythm. Get him going. And get him up to game speed. And number 3, Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray need to pound the rock. Last week you saw Murray pound the rock. If Kamara comes back this week and you have a 2-headed monster, pound the rock. Look at the details!
Look at the details! Oh, Lord! Look at the details! Oh, Lord!
The Saints need to make a big play here. Teddy Bridgewater's going to have pressure up his face. One of the few times that Ramczyk gets beat. See, he's right there. He gets beat, and Teddy's going to avoid the pressure, escape the pocket, buying time. Right now, no one's open. I can get a first down. It's just one of the few times Teddy's looking downfield, trying to make a play for his team. And you're going to see Ted Ginn right here find a hole and get open for what should be a big gain. Ball's a little high, but very catchable. Instead, Ted Ginn drops the ball, and it's an interception for the Cowboys. When your quarterback hasn't started in a long time and is making a play with his feet and a good pass, you have to come down with this ball. Ramczyk gets beat. Bridgewater makes a good throw. Interception. Marshawn Lattimore heard all the noise. He was giving up the most yards in the NFL by a corner. He came out and played one of the best receivers in the NFL and shut him down. Watch his feet here. Reading the hips. Amari Cooper's going to try to come in. Marshawn Lattimore is in perfect position to break up this football. What a play. Saints have the momentum right now. 1st and 10, starting to move the ball. Taysom Hill in the game. And I want you to watch this defensive end right here. This is who Taysom Hill is going to read. If he comes in and goes after Kamara, he's going to pull it. If he stays base, he's going to give it to Kamara. Instead, he flies in. He flies in. He's going to tackle Kamara. He doesn't even have the ball. Look at this hole right here. Really good block right here by Jared Cook. Sealing the outside linebacker, Sean Lee. Really good block, and then Taysom Hill just makes a play. Watch this hit. Bam. Whole team's fired up about it. You saw Armstead right there. Puts Jared Cook in motion. Jared Cook's can come down, make a good block. Robert Quinn is going to run down to try to tackle Kamara. Taysom Hill makes the perfect read. And then that's just big boy football. Marvel character does it again. Should be a simple 2-3 yard gain, but instead, Mr. Alvin Kamara makes a play. Let's see how many missed tackles right here by the Dallas Cowboys. Or how many tackles AK breaks. 1, 2, perfect balance. 3, 4, 5, and finally brings them down. What an effort. Ted Ginn has been playing it safe, playing it smart, getting the ball out quickly to Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. But on 3rd down in the red zone, he needs to make a play. He tried to make a play in the first quarter, getting the ball out to Ted Ginn, but it was dropped and picked off. Here, the Cowboys are going to play a too-high safety look. The middle of the field is going to be wide open. Watch Jared Cook run a post route in the middle of the field. Cook is open right now. That's a touchdown. Teddy Bridgewater instead is not going to look for Cook. He does not read the two high safeties. He looks for a second. Right now, he should throw the football. Instead, he's going to run, get hit. Should be a flag, but it shouldn't matter. Should be a touchdown to Jared Cook. Third down. Saints up 2. 1:50 to go in the game. Teddy Bridgewater absolutely cannot take a sack here. But the Cowboys come up with a fantastic scheme defensively. I want you to watch Jalen Smith here. He's going to wrap around to Toronto Armstead's side. He's going to wrap around. The Cowboys' defensive tackle is going to wrap around this way, and their outside linebacker is going to wrap around this way. It's just an absolutely beautiful scheme here by the Cowboys. They all look like they're rushing straight forward, right? Jalen Smith's going to wrap around to the edge. Their D tackle is going to wrap around this way, forcing one-on-one with Larry Wolford and their outside linebacker. And as expected, Larry Wolford gets beat. On the other side, they do not see Jalen Smith coming. That's a bad man not to see coming. Teddy Bridgewater's got to throw this football away right here. You got to get this football out. You cannot take a sack here. You cannot. Great scheme by the Cowboys. Great pressure. But you still need to get this football out. 2 seconds to go. Saints have been here before. Minnesota Miracle, week 1 versus the Houston Texans. Saints fans are tired of big plays happening on the final seconds of the game. Saints playing 5 deep. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's going to line up over the number 3 receiver right here. And he's going to blitz. Great scheme by the Saints. Offensive lineman points out the defensive tackle. He's looking at him. Cam Jordan's going to pull this tackle outside. Leaves a big hole for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Just gets enough on him. Marcus Williams has been hearing the noise ever since the Minnesota Miracle. Right here. Comes up, reads the ball perfectly. Ball game.